Hi, welcome back to Dawn Digs In. I'm Dawn, and today we are going to talk about replacing a few words in our vocabulary. I want you to replace every only that you say with already. I'm going to give you a few examples of replacing only with already in a couple sentences that we might say every day. I only have 10 minutes to spare. I already have 10 minutes of spare time to dedicate to that. I only lost 1 pound this week. I already lost a pound this week. I can only do 1 push-up. I can already do 1 push-up. Do you see what I'm getting at here? This simple little changing of a word is a change of a thought. It's a change of a mindset. We get so focused on the things that we think that we can't do or shouldn't do or haven't done, instead of going with the things that we did or we've already done or we've accomplished. We need to get that negative talk out of our heads and focus more on things that make us feel good and that we've already accomplished instead of putting ourselves down. You know, it could be Wednesday and you're saying to yourself, I've only worked out twice this week. When you could be saying to yourself, I've already had 2 workouts this week. See? Just that simple little flip-flop in your brain can change a crappy week to an amazing week by just tallying up the things that you have accomplished. I've only just started this healthy journey. I have already started moving towards a healthy journey. See? It's small and it's simple, but we don't do it enough, right? We tend to say to ourselves, oh, I ate crappy today, so you know what? I'm just going to eat crappy for the rest of the day. Instead of going, I started out really well, I'm going to finish strong. I'm going to get back on the horse the next meal, which is always what it's about. It's always about the next thing. We can't do anything with what we've already done. So you didn't work out yesterday, so what? Did you work out today? I worked out today. There you have it. Positive mindset. And I'm going to work out tomorrow. And I'm going to work out the next day. And if I don't get to it, I won't be angry because I will have already done several workouts this week. Now, saying it to yourself in that way is so much better than saying, I hardly ever get my workouts in, or I never eat right, or, oh, before I know it, I've just blown my day and it wasn't even noon yet. That's where intermittent fasting comes in, my friends. I talk about it all the time, and I'm really telling you, if you haven't given intermittent fasting a try, just try that going from supper to wake. Just that one simple thing. And if you can go to lunch, oh my goodness, you will not believe how much better your day is going to be. Because now you have a very small eating window. And you really do think about the things that you eat in that window. Not all the time. Not all the time. And the worst, sabotaging myself, I can sit down and eat a bag of chocolate chips. Remember, I'm a baker, so I always have this stuff. I try to keep it in separate containers so that it's just for my baking, for my customers, and it's not something that I eat. But if I'm really searching for something, I can usually find it because I do have a little closet full of all those forbidden things. And it's hard. Sometimes I do really well at not having them, and other days I'm like, oh, what do I have now? So getting back on that healthy track has been a little bit of a challenge for me this year because I need to stop doing the negative self-talk. I ate that bag of chocolate chips yesterday. Instead of saying, I worked out 3 times this week and I've eaten 3 really good meals. Get rid of the negative. Get rid of the what we didn't mean to do that we shouldn't have done, because it honestly doesn't matter. We can't go back in time. We can never go back. We can only go forward, and we can only make different choices moving forward. So if that different choice is, okay, I just had the Big Mac and the fries, so guess what? For supper, I'm having a salad. Or maybe you're just going to start fasting now because that's enough to hold me for an entire day. Think about your food. It's enough to hold me for hours and hours and hours, and I would much rather be a little bit hungry going to bed than be stuffed because I had another meal. And if I didn't get enough exercise in to counteract that, because that's a big part too, right? If you're eating more, you got to move more. You need to burn off what you've had, whether that be getting on your treadmill, going outside, running, whether it's doing your favorite workout, getting that cardio in. Cardio is what burns fat. You need to get that cardio in. Hopping on that treadmill for an extra 20 minutes. I've kind of gotten the habit of after dinner, we always seem to do our workout in the morning, and then we kind of have our things that we need to do during the day, of course. And then my husband might go off to work or do a game or something. We're sitting down after dinner and we're like, okay, we're going to watch a show. And then it's like, wait a minute, we're going to go on the treadmill for 20 minutes. Or he goes on the treadmill and I do a reps to the rhythm for 20 minutes. But something so that we are getting a little bit of a workout in after supper. So we've got almost 2 workouts in a day and not really thinking about it. Now, when the weather's nice and we're not sitting in all this snow, we will go out for a walk. When I'm allowed, because remember, I've been forbidden from many of his walks because I keep wanting to change his route on him, and he doesn't like that. He's very much a creature of habit. But he is a creature of habit. So luckily for me, he makes me a much better person because he can really stick to routine, where I am that all over the place person. Routine is very difficult for me. I do things, but I never do them the same way twice. I don't know if you're more like me or more like him. I will get to things, and I get really absent-minded. I don't know who watches Mel Robbins, but I love Mel Robbins. Mel has some really great ways of looking at things, looking at your attitude, looking at your habits, looking at how you procrastinate. Just, if you haven't watched her yet, check out her podcast. Really interesting, really make you think about yourself and realize that we're not crazy. Just because we may not be following the path that everybody else follows, we're not regimented, we don't stick with routines, doesn't mean that we're not productive. It just means we do things in a different way. And things that other people do routinely, they just don't work for us. They don't work for me. Like if I told you my husband's schedule in the morning, you might go, yeah, that's right. Okay. He gets up, he does this, he does this, he does this, he does this, he does this. Then he goes down, he has his coffee, and then he does this and this and this. I don't do that. The only thing that I can honestly say that I do when I get up is have a glass of water. That's part of my routine and my workout. But I can't tell you it's at the same time every day because it's not. I try to do it in the morning, but morning for me can be many different times. It can be 9 o'clock, it can be 11 o'clock, it can be 1 o'clock. It just depends. So I'm constantly changing my routine. Unlike my husband, whose routine never changes no matter what. I am the all over the person. I don't, like I said, he gets up in the morning and he does all of his things and he never forgets anything. If he's going away for a weekend, he very diligently packs everything and sets them aside and has all his staging areas. I'm going away this weekend. It's my weekend with my grandkids. I know I've talked about this before, but instead of doing presents, we have started doing the prenup, no unnecessary presents. We do experiences. So for the last couple of years, I have been taking them to the Niagara Falls Water Park. We love it. It's great. It's reasonable. They get to see their cousins who they don't see very often. So it's a really fun time for all the kids to get together and hang out. It's just, we have a lot of fun doing it, and it gives them something to remember that they did this with grandma, or remember the time grandma took us there, remember that room that we once stayed in, or what different hotels we've stayed in. And we try to make it as exciting as we can. We have a lot of fun. They're at a good age to really have a great weekend. So we're really looking forward to this. But as I was saying, me packing to get ready for this trip. Now, I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about it for a long time. What do I need? What do I need to take? Okay, well, I always bring breakfast stuff because it's expensive to pay for a hotel room and food for 4 boys for a whole weekend. So I always take cereal. I'll take Cheerios, some Alphabets, I'll take orange juice or some Sunny D and some pop and snacks because it's a free for all weekend pretty much. They kind of get things that they want because it's grandma, right? So I can spoil them rotten. So I start getting things ready. Now, I'm leaving in 4 days. All these things I need to get ready, I have nothing done. I don't have a box out. I didn't start packing anything. I could pack my whole bag of what I'm taking because I don't wear a bathing suit in the middle of winter. So there's no reason why my bathing suit and my towel and my flip-flops and things that I'm going to need can't be already in that bag. But they won't go in that bag until Friday morning when I'm racing to get out the door by 11 o'clock to go pick them up. So I will be a total frazzled mess by the time I get there. But I can't get myself in one of those habits to do these things on a normal basis or to do them in a routine like my husband does. So I'm always stressed and I'm always running around at the last minute, where he is always very calm and relaxed. And coming back to what we were talking about of changing your wording. If I were more organized, I would, instead of saying, I've only got half my things packed, I'd be able to say, I've already packed half the things I need to take with me. But I don't. So try and change that wording in your brain to reflect accomplishments that you've already made. When we start doing this, because I'm really going to start doing this. I'm good at saying all these things. I'm really great at doing all this for myself. I've already done. I do that all the time. I'm very positive in my thought process. I'm just not great at my regiment. But that's okay. They're really two different things, and I've mixed up these two topics again together. But it's just what comes into my brain when I'm doing this. See how simple it can be to shift to a more positive outlook, to get you motivated to keep going instead of giving up. Change your language to keep you moving forward. Instead of using language that can bring you down, this simple shift will empower you. Just by saying those simple things. Instead of saying, I've only, say, I've already. That simple shift will give you a much more positive outlook. It will motivate you, and you will really find yourself getting results just by being more positive in what you're saying, instead of tearing yourself down with the negative talk and that negative self-talk of, I really haven't done quite enough. We tend to get so stuck in the onlys when we really should be celebrating every accomplishment as we work towards doing our best. Celebrate these little moments. If I fixated on the only time I thought I had, I wouldn't be here doing this. When our mindset goes to the only mentality, we lose all motivation and sense of perspective. Did you know that some days I only play my recordings for 20 minutes? But did you also know that those 20 minutes have already contributed to me and my fitness levels for today? It's only 20 minutes. Instead of saying to myself, I only did 20 minutes, I already did 20 minutes. I'm going to lose those 5 pounds. Or 10 or 20 or whatever that number is for you. Switching only and already will help you flip that switch in your brain that says, look at what I've already done, as proof that you can do even more. Instead of saying the usual, ugh, I only did whatever. What's the point? When I worry about my only, I immediately switch my mindset to already. I instantly feel grateful for what I have already accomplished and what I've already done and what I already have. Then I feel insanely motivated to do more. Just by making that little switch, right? Only and already. 2 words. Just don't get stuck in the only mindset. What you have already done today is going to give us an amazing month. Use these accomplishments to set your goals and set your intentions for the next week, the next day, however long you like to set your intentions for. Make the mind switch. Only and already. 2 little words that can honestly change your day. Until I see you next time, you have some awesome workouts. You are amazing. High five.